What's going on, everyone? So I want to kind of break down the indexes, starting with the NASDAQ 100, which is the triple Qs, and I also want to break down the S&P 500. So looking at the daily chart here, we're going to go back to the start of the week. We had a nice run up, put in those highs on the NASDAQ 100 of around $387.98. So just topping out at around 388. Now, what exactly is to expect going into next week? Is this the top? Is this the end? Is the market going to crash? I hear so many things on social media right now being tossed around, and we have to think about it logically for a minute here and understand that the market, in a lot of these names that make up these indexes have been on a phenomenal run in 2023. This is nothing more than a back test, a little bit of a pullback into rising daily support. Now, one thing that we are going to kind of keep our eyes on, obviously we're, as traders, we're looking to make money on the long as well as the short side. So when these opportunities kind of present themselves, we have to be ready to kind of roll with the punches here. Now, you can see here, if we just kind of scroll all the way back to the left, going back to around 616, that was that recent high. This area here, okay, was also tested again on 630, 7.3, as well as 7.5. This was the last breakout spot that we had before we ran up to the price of around 388. So as you can see here now, on a little bit of a 3-day decline, we are coming right back into this zone. Okay, so if I pull up my drawing tool here, just so you guys can quickly see, so this little bit of a pullback here is starting to match up with this last previous breakout spot. So what I look for when I'm looking at technical analysis, especially in a strong market here, is I like to see this digestion. I like to see this pullback. And what I'll be looking for here is to see if we can pull back just a little bit more here and do one of these numbers, right? If we can pull back and hold this area here, this is going to be a classic break and retest of a previous resistance zone that is going to set us up to push to go higher. Okay, now one thing that we do have to kind of note here, if we're looking to take a little bit of a short-term day trade and we're looking to catch a little bit of cash flow next week, assuming that we don't gap down, okay, if we don't gap down, if we open up flat or we open up slightly green or we have a push off the open, what I will be looking for here is $375 short to the downside. I'm going to look to play that into the 20-day moving average sitting at around 371. So between the price of 375 and 371, we've got about 3 to 4 points of clear-cut room where we can kind of play this back down here and potentially make some money. Now, this would kind of complete coming back down into this retest zone here. But again, we're going to have a little bit of support also at 369. So expect price action if we do break the 20-day moving average at around 371.5. that we could come down to 369. Again, this is not going to be enough room in the trade for me to want to get excited about taking the short position. The next short position besides the 375 short is going to be a close below 369.50. Below 369.50, I would be looking to target price points of around 363 and then the 50-day moving average at around 356. I think that would be even a more healthy pullback for a continuation back up to the upside. So just want to keep that, those levels on your alerts. So we're going to look at the S&P 500. You can see the same thing here. S&P 500 kind of putting in an inside bar day. However, we did close below the 5-day moving average. Now, anytime we start to lose the short-term moving average, like the 5-day moving average, we would be looking for a short-term change in trend in the overall sentiment. So what I would be looking for here on the SPY is going to be anything below 451.30s and play that back test into 449. Okay, so we got 451.30s, 451.5 down to around the 449. So we got about $1 to $1.50 worth of room. Definitely take this short position myself on the confirmation next week here. Again, if we're looking to push up here and we never confirm this area, then we're not going to take that short position. But I really don't have any interest long until we can start getting back over 455 and 456. The supports that we have here on the S&P 500 is going to be 449.5, and then our hard support is going to be 446. Anything below 446, I would play the second short position down into 444. And you can see here, this purple line is a 20-day moving average. Look at what we did once we pulled in the previous last 2 times. We pulled into the 20-day moving average. We had an aggressive bounce. We pulled into the 20-day moving average, and we had a very aggressive bounce. If we pull back into the 20-day moving average, it's not the end of the world. We could be looking for another aggressive bounce, which is going to be very, very healthy. Now, I wouldn't get too concerned until we start to close below the 20-day moving average here, and that price is going to be sitting somewhere at around 443.5. If we start to close below 443.5, then my next price targets for the short position swings would be 437 and then 434 and 431. Those are the areas that I'm going to keep on watch. Again, my focus will probably be a little bit leaning more towards the short bias, just due to the fact that I do want to catch the potential back test on a lot of these names and indexes that have been on very, very phenomenal runs. So again, do your homework over the weekend, come in with a watch list, come in with, you know, right levels that you're going to be sitting and waiting for. Again, if you're a trader who's turning on your computer screen right when the market opens and you're just looking to kind of get in a trade long, short, you don't really know what's going on, you see things are moving and you want to just take a trade for the sake of taking a trade, you've already lost the battle. With that being said, if you guys want any more information, how to learn how I'm using my strategies, or trade with me, or get in the community and get access to the courses and one-on-one coaching, all of that information is down in the description box below. If you guys are looking to get funded to trade stocks or futures, or whatever you guys are looking to trade, I also work with a few different prop firms that are all very highly known and very reputable. Definitely check those out too as well. And I'll see you guys all in the next video.